In the heart of an overgrown forest, shrouded in mist and shadow, stood the decaying remnants of an old abandoned asylum, known as the Harrowbrook Sanitarium. Its ominous presence cast a long and chilling history over the surrounding area. Stories of patients gone mad, gruesome experiments, and unexplained disappearances. The tales painted a portrait of a place that had long been abandoned by both the living and the sane. One chilly October evening, 4 adventurous teenagers from the nearby town of Ravensbrook decided to test the legends surrounding Harrowbrook. They believed that the old asylum's haunted reputation was nothing more than a collection of urban legends and exaggerated tales meant to scare curious souls. And so, with flashlights and a camera in tow, they embarked on their journey to uncover the truth. As they approached the asylum, their flashlights cut through the inky darkness, revealing a looming, dilapidated structure, its windows like empty, hollow eyes. Venus and Ivy covered the building as if nature itself sought to reclaim the sinister structure. A sense of unease settled over the group, but they pushed on. "Come on, guys, this place is just an old building," Mark said, trying to sound confident. "Let's see if there's anything to all these stories." With those words, the group entered the asylum, the creaking door giving way to a world of darkness. As they ventured further inside, the atmosphere grew heavier, as if the very walls held the memories of tormented souls. The faint echoes of footsteps, whispers, and cries seemed to dance on the edges of their perception, and each member of the group felt a chill creep down their spine. Sarah's excitement soon turned to a nagging feeling that they were not alone. "Did you guys hear that?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Probably just your imagination, Sarah," Jake replied, though the bravado in his voice was beginning to wane. Lisa, who had been silently capturing the asylum's eerie ambiance with her camera, looked up and gasped. Her camera displayed an image that she couldn't explain. A pale, ghostly figure standing at the end of a dark corridor. It had a twisted, contorted face, like a specter of madness. "Did you guys see that?" Lisa stammered, showing them the chilling image on her camera's screen. "That's just a trick of the light," Mark said, attempting to rationalize the image. "This place is falling apart. Who knows what weird shadows it could cast?" But the uneasy feeling in the pit of their stomachs grew more pronounced. The teenagers pressed on, their curiosity mixed with a growing fear that they were in the presence of something otherworldly. It wasn't long before they came across the asylum's old records room, filled with dusty, tattered files and documents. "This is it!" Sarah exclaimed, her voice filled with excitement. "If there's any evidence of the horrors that happened here, it's in these files." As they pored over the documents, they discovered a grim history of cruel treatments and inhumane experiments conducted on the patients of Harrowbrook. Some records detailed lobotomies, electroshock therapy, and other forms of brutality that sent shivers down their spines. "What kind of monsters could do this to people?" Lisa whispered, her eyes fixed on the horrific details before her. "We should get out of here," Jake said, suddenly anxious. "This place gives me the creeps, and we've seen enough." Agreeing, the group gathered their things and made their way back toward the exit. But as they retraced their steps through the dark corridors, a thick fog seemed to envelop the asylum, obscuring their path. Panic set in as they realized they were lost, disoriented in the labyrinthine structure. The flashlight beams danced frantically, casting eerie, shifting shadows on the moldy walls. Whispers and distant cries echoed around them, growing louder and more intense. The group's resolve crumbled, and they couldn't ignore the haunting reality any longer. "What's happening?" Sarah asked, her voice quivering. "We need to stick together," Mark said, his skepticism now replaced with fear. "Let's find a way out of here." But as they moved deeper into the asylum, they encountered more unsettling sights. Flickering lights that shouldn't be working, doors that opened and closed on their own, and even apparitions of patients in tattered hospital gowns who seemed to beckon them into the shadows. Lisa captured these chilling moments on her camera, each image more disturbing than the last. The asylum's malevolent history had awakened, and it was revealing itself in a series of macabre events that defied all reason. Finally, they stumbled into a room that felt different, as if it held a deeper secret. The walls were covered in cryptic symbols, and the air was thick with an unsettling presence. As they explored further, they discovered a trapdoor hidden beneath a rotting rug. "We have to go down there," Sarah said, her eyes filled with a mix of dread and fascination. With no other option, they opened the trapdoor and descended into a narrow, dimly lit tunnel. The eerie whispers of unseen entities followed them, growing louder as they delved deeper underground. The tunnel seemed endless, and the fear of being lost in this underworld gnawed at their sanity. The tunnel eventually led to a cavernous chamber adorned with crypts, each one bearing the name of a former patient of Harrowbrook. The room was filled with an unsettling silence, save for the drip of water from the damp ceiling. The group realized they were trapped in a place where life and death had been twisted into something far more sinister. And then, to their horror, they heard it. A faint, distant chanting that seemed to resonate from the walls themselves. "Listen," Mark said, his voice quivering. "Do you hear that?" As they strained to understand the chanting, they saw a figure emerging from the shadows. A gaunt and ethereal figure, garbed in tattered rags, its eyes like endless voids, approached them. It seemed to be leading the chilling chorus. "We need to leave now!" Jake yelled, but it was too late. The apparition reached out with spectral hands, and the room erupted in a cacophony of tormented souls. Terrified, the teenagers fled, their heartbeats drowning out the horrific chorus. They ran through the winding tunnels and dark corridors, unable to escape the asylum's relentless grasp. The very walls seemed to conspire against them, shifting and rearranging to trap them within their haunted confines. The malign presence of Harrowbrook seemed to be an entity itself, one that thrived on the fear and suffering of those who dared to enter. The teenagers' hope of escape faded as they realized they were at the mercy of forces beyond their comprehension. Hours turned into days, and they lost all track of time as they stumbled through the asylum's endless maze. Their flashlights flickered and dimmed, their strength waned, and their sanity began to fray. It was in the depths of their despair that they found themselves back in the records room, the same room where they had discovered the asylum's grim history. The room was filled with whispers, memories, and the weight of countless tormented souls. "No," Sarah said, her voice trembling. "We can't stay here. We need to find a way out." But the records room offered no exit, only the inescapable presence of the asylum. The teenagers huddled together, their hearts heavy with dread as they realized the truth. They would become one with the countless others who had perished within these haunted walls. The echoes of the past reverberated through the room as the tormented souls of Harrowbrook claimed their final victims. And in the darkness, their voices merged with the chilling chorus, a haunting lament that would continue to resonate through the ages. The old abandoned asylum had claimed yet another group of curious souls, their fate sealed by the malevolent spirits that had taken residence within its decaying walls. As their own sanity dissolved into the darkness, the harrowing truth became clear. The legends of Harrowbrook were no mere tales, but a reality that defied reason and rationality, a nightmare from which they could never awaken.